Alright, so I'm injured and it sucks.
It's shit.
A few people have reached out and asked if I was going to make any videos like this and try and document some of my recovery from these injuries. And to be honest, I wasn't really going to. The last couple of weeks I've not really been thinking about making any content or even felt in the mood to do anything. But no doubt there's a lot of people out there who watch this channel who may have had a similar injury in the past or unfortunately are going to go through something like this. So I thought I'd make a video or a series of videos and try and take you along this journey with me, because unfortunately this is going to be a long journey, which sucks. So where should we start? Let's start at the beginning. It's probably best, right? So just over 2 weeks ago now, I went on a local bike ride on my own, just to spin my legs. My partner and I, Emma, were going out in the afternoon, so it was nothing serious. It was just to get out and spin my legs. Anyway, rode some semi-gnarly stuff and then felt fine, obviously. Wasn't pushing too hard, obviously, because I was on my own and just having a chiller. Weather was beautiful, music in my ears, the whole thing. Anyway, I was going through some local woods and don't remember much. I've already been through this once on the podcast, so there's not going to be any revelations here. But I ended up hitting a tree. From what I remember I hit a tree with my knuckles and my head. I vaguely remember hitting a tree. Then I came round, realised I was probably in quite a lot of pain. I convinced myself I was in a bike race, so I was looking around for people to help. There was nobody around, obviously. I probably kept going in and out of sort of consciousness, I guess, because of not being able to breathe and stuff. I then vaguely remember getting back on my bike, finding a lady called Jane who sat with me for a while, ended up calling the emergency services, and I ended up in this. So big shout out obviously to Yorkshire Air Ambulance who got me out of the woods. Big thank you as well to my friend Jordan who lives really close to where I crashed. He came out and helped get the air ambulance to me and get me in there and stuff as well. So that's basically what happened. I then was airlifted to hospital. Once I got to hospital, was in some like shock and stuff for a little bit. Again, it's all really patchy, I don't quite remember. This is the most boring video ever, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the diagnosis basically, after I had a CT scan and stuff, was that I have 8 broken ribs, 6 I believe in my back, and then from what the doctor told me there was 2 broken ones in the front, although that's actually not mentioned on my discharge letter. I'm still pretty confident I've got some broken ribs in the front because I can feel them pretty good. So broken ribs, 3 of them that are broken really badly, which means that they have like crossed over, so they've broken in 2 places, and they're sat underneath my shoulder blade, which is really bruised and banged up as well. Then I had multiple punctures to my lung. Again, I'll probably put here what I've actually had because I always forget the names of them, but basically I had bleeding on my lung in multiple spots, had air in a pocket of my lung, I think, which isn't bad, and quite a lot of internal bleeding as well. Plus I guess I was dealing with some concussion too, because the whole thing is a bit of a blur. So like I said, I haven't really thought about doing this. I'm just winging it at the moment, but spent 3.5 days in hospital and then was sent home. I then spent I think 5 days in this room, could just about walk to the bathroom and back. So that's been pretty shit. And then now I'm a little bit more mobile. Like I say, we're about 2.5 weeks into this thing. A little bit more mobile. To be honest, still in quite a lot of pain. Actually still in a lot of pain, and feeling quite a lot of adverse effects to some of the painkillers. So let me show you a little bit of what I'm currently taking, because I think it's quite interesting. I'm going to show you what I'm actually been prescribed from the doctors, and then what I'm actually taking on top of it, just for my own well-being, I think. So start with the heavy stuff. So I am currently taking 20 mils of oxycodone. This is good stuff. So oxycodone is basically liquid morphine. So that I'm taking that, which seems to work really well. I'm taking Tramadol. We'll get into this now. So I guess Tramadol is another opiate, whatever you call it now. Tramadol comes with some pretty gnarly side effects. And again, I think it's important with this video to be brutally honest. One of those side effects is nausea. So I have been feeling really sick. And like headaches, just sort of like an airy feeling. Don't really feel myself at the minute. One of the major things though that stands out with this particular drug is depression or depressed feelings, and especially over the last 3 or 4 days, just feel really numb, feel really just meh, kind of sad, kind of low, and I think it's just a combination of the pills and also it's a combination of the pills, and probably just got to a point now when I've had a few little wins, you know, even taking a shower for the first time, sitting outside, and now we're at a point where there's not really any wins, nothing's really happening, just sort of a bit at a plateau. I've tried walking a couple of times outside, and yeah, it didn't feel so great. So they're the 2 heavy ones. I'm then taking 8 paracetamol a day, and then the stuff that the doctors also prescribed, this amazing thing called Senna, which is a laxative tablet, all natural ingredients, and then also Laxedo, big box. This thing's fresh, it's full, and that's also a laxative as well. And the main reason I'm taking those is because the other pills make you constipated, and constipation sucks, especially when you've got broken ribs, because you can't push. So yeah, I had I think 5 days before I took my first poop. Might have been 4. Either way, it was a long time, and it hurt like hell. So I'm taking those. I'm also been prescribed these pain patches, which you put on areas that are hurting. You're only allowed to have those on for 12 nights. Medical plaster. It's called Ralvo. So those things seem to be doing pretty good anyway. And then on top of that, this stuff I think is pretty important. Forgot to bring them up, but I'm taking at least 2 or 3 vitamin C tablets a day. I'm trying to keep vitamins and minerals inside me as much as possible. I'm taking antihistamines every day, just because I do get hay fever, and the last thing I want right now is to get hay fever and be coughing and sneezing and stuff. That would really suck. I'm taking zinc. These are just 10 milligrams, so I'm taking about 4 or 5 of those a day. I think zinc's something that you want to make sure you're putting into your body. Most importantly at the moment, I'm taking vitamin D. So these are actually 4,000 IU tablets, which is really high. So I'm taking 3 of those. So that's 4, 8, 12,000 IUs of vitamin D, which is a lot, but they really do help with bone health. And also, no matter what you think of this coronavirus situation, it's quite obvious that vitamin D does help prevent getting coronavirus, but also just keeps you healthy. So I'm taking that. I'm also taking a decent amount of Mct oil, medium chain triglycerides, mainly because for me Mct oil helps me go to the bathroom. So every time I have a hot drink, whether it's a cup of tea or a coffee, I'm taking that. I'm putting at least a good dose of that in there. Shout out to Natural Leaf. They're not around anymore, but I had quite a lot of this left over from when they last sent a gift package, so that stuff's been amazing. Okay, realised this is quite boring. But I thought, obviously, one of the reasons for doing this video is, although this first one's going to be pretty boring, I'm going to show you what I do and how I'm going to get back healthy and get back on a bike after going through this. My main motivations at the moment, well, you'll notice the facial hair. I think it's important to try and set some goals, no matter how silly they are. So I straight away told myself I wasn't going to shave until I can walk to the end of the road and back. and I hate facial hair. It's crap. It makes itchy. So this is a big motivator at the moment to get me to walk to the end of that road and back. And then as far as what I've been doing, I think that's kind of important too. You know, one of the major things with going through any injury is boredom, especially when you can't really move many places and stuff. So I've been really trying to use my time wisely. I've been doing a couple of hours work every day. I'm really lucky with what I do that it is going to keep going. I'd be pretty screwed if it wasn't for having good business partners and also good people around me who can help with that. So that's a real blessing. I've been trying to watch good movies, I guess. I'm reading a lot. I'm currently reading some really good books. I'm reading Sacred Economics. I should have brought the books up too. I just got the new Rise of Superhuman that Mct recommended. That just came too. So I'm reading books. Obviously I've done the podcast as well. It was really good. It gave me something to do. And most importantly, I'm actually trying to do a lot of just being in silence. My breathing isn't right yet because of the multiple multiple punctures to my lung. Still really struggling with breath and breathing, so I'm trying to stay in silence quite a lot and literally just sit on the bed or in a chair and just breathe. Silly as that might sound, I think when it's quiet you can really hear your breath and you can really try and focus on what it's doing. Make sure you're getting those big inhales in. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not really a lot to report. Like I said, this is mainly for me as well to look back on. But hopefully at some point someone's going to find this video or and be able to find some comfort in going through this journey with me and show that it is possible to get back from an injury like this and get back on a bike relatively fast. Obviously with ribs, they take a long time to heal, especially when they've been smashed to pieces. The doctor was sort of saying to me that, you know, with a broken arm or a leg, you cast it, it doesn't have the ability to move, so it will recover quite quickly. But with the ribs, they're always moving. With the breath, with the diaphragm, you're always up and about. Well, you're not always, but you're up and about, things are moving, and that's one of the issues I'm having at the moment is whenever I do try and walk or move in a certain way, you can feel everything inside my back moving around, crunching, and it's really not a nice experience. But saying that, it's going to be a long journey. I'm going to try and make more videos, especially when we start going into physio and trying to do a little bit of exercise and stuff and show you guys this whole journey and what it looks like, as boring as it might be for some of you. You don't have to watch the video. So yeah, onwards and upwards. Big thanks to everyone for watching the video. Like I say, I know this one's been boring. It's good just to give a bit of an update of where I'm at and what I'm doing. And we'll see you for the next chapter of this journey where I'm going to hopefully be out walking a little bit. I'm going to try and at least get to the end of the road. We'll take the camera, document that, and some other stuff, whatever happens. Like I said, I've not even thought about doing one of these. It was only a message off somebody today that really prompted me to crack on and make a little video and a little series about getting back to health. So there we go. Onwards and upwards. You.